Everybody, this is Mike, and this will be my turn 6 guide. Yeah, this should be fun. It's kind of a fun fight. I don't know, there's a lot of mechanics to it, and hopefully I won't forget any. Basically, it just takes a lot of practice. Just, I don't know, I guess it's just kind of like every other fight in this game. It just takes a lot of practice to really get down. Once you get the patterns down, it's pretty easy. But the first thing you do, or you'll see, is the vines come out, and you know, obviously the two people just need to run away from them. And we tank right in the center, which I think is, in my opinion, the best place to tank, because I want to say there's like 7 spawn points for the big bulbs around the outside, and only 1 spawn point for the center, which we did get right there. So we just burn down the bulb if it appears in the center, and then I guess just leave the other, you know, the other 2, or I guess it would have been 3 if the bulb hadn't appeared in the center. But anyways, after the bulbs drop down, then you just watch for the yellow orb. The yellow orb is the indicator that she's gonna use Devour, I believe it is, or Floral Trap. I think it's Floral Trap. That's the one that if you're not in a briar patch, it will pull you in, and then she will devour you, and then Spit comes after, and if you get devoured, the Spit, she gets a stack. It's like a stacking buff for her, a damage buff that will not come off. So you want to avoid being devoured at all costs. So yeah, I guess, you know, important things to know is there is a tank swap. I believe our tanks swap at, it's like 2 stacks, or every time she spits, I think, is basically when we do it. And then here's the next mechanic that starts at, I believe it's 70%, called Blighted Bouquet. And basically you don't want to be doing any actions during the middle of it. I got into the habit of turning around and like hitting escape so that I wouldn't have a target, just so I wouldn't auto attack and stuff. But then you know, I don't know, and that's okay. But and here I get targeted for the Floral Trap. So it says dodge. You actually do have to wait an extra second or 2 after you see the dodge above your head. I've shoulder tackled a little bit too early and still got eaten. So, you know, again, just chill. There's more than one way to do this too. Some people like to not jump in the briar patch. It's typically what I've seen is there's another Blighted Bouquet. Typically, like in Party Finders, I'll see, you know, groups doing briarless method, and what that means is when you have the yellow orb above your head, you won't run into a briar patch. You'll just get right up behind the boss, and then you run through. It's tricky, and it takes a little bit of practice to get down right. And I mean, personally, I don't do it. I really don't like that way. I will say it is easier on heals, or on the healers. But if it doesn't work out right, you can basically get everybody eaten, which is, you know, is a wipe. So I don't know, up to you, or I should say maybe up to your group on how you guys want to do it. But again, I don't like that method. So here's Blighted again. I hit Sheath, which is my Z key, to just stop any actions during that. And I jump right after the cast is finished. I go right back to DPSing. You know, if you're not comfortable doing that, there's, you know, it's not, you can wait a second or 2. It's definitely not gonna make or break you, I don't think. The vine patterns, I don't know that it's really that important to learn them all. I guess maybe, you know, I guess it couldn't hurt. And then here I get targeted for honey, which I did forget to mention. So after a certain point, I want to say it's, oh man, maybe it is right at 70%. She'll start throwing honeys out on people, and it just puts a debuff on you. You can see it up in the top of my screen. What that means is if you have the honey buff or debuff on you, it'll spawn a dark, I think it's a dark matter hornet, which you need to kill. as soon as possible, because if you don't, it starts one-shotting people. And then when you do get the honey buff, you want to be eaten. So like, another player was targeted by the yellow orb, so I just put myself in between the player with the orb and the boss herself, so that I could get eaten. And that what that does is it stops the bees from spawning. It's basically an absolute must. I can't even imagine really trying to do this. You know, going into the last phase with honey buff still on people. I just don't know that that would work well. And then here at is it 35%? I believe it is. It's either 35 or 40%. Is when the last phase finally starts, and she used Leaf Storm. And then Acid Rain here. So Acid Rain is an interesting mechanic. It selects, I believe it's like, it selects 3 people, and then it spawns these acidic honeys on the ground. And you don't want to touch the honeys, otherwise they'll almost one-shot you. I think they do like 4,000 damage or something like that every so often. But right before the honey spawn, the slugs, these dark matter slugs, I believe they're called, or maybe they're just slugs. No, yeah, they're dark matter slugs. They spawn. But so here, basically the mechanic of this is, I want to say the intended method was to have each slug eat 1 honey, and you just kill the slugs. But that's not how we do it. We stack everybody up for Acid Rain, and that stacks all the honeys on top of each other. And then the slug, once the slugs drop below 50%, they'll try to eat the honey. So that's how we do that's how we do it. We just get 1 slug below 50%. That slug eats all the honeys at the same time, and then I limit break it, which almost one-shots it. I don't know if I think I only had limit break 2 for that. I guess I wasn't paying attention on the video, but long story short, that's how we do the mechanic. Again, there's different ways to do it, but that's how we handled it. And then the other mechanics are basically the vines. I recommend running straight back and straight forward for vine breaking in this phase, because the boss does do one other skill. I want to call it, I think it's called like Rotten Stench, I believe is the name of it. And what that does is it puts a marker above, I believe it's always the healer's heads, or one of them, I should say. And then it'll do an ability called, like I said, called Rotten Stench in a straight line. And so there I actually kind of dodged. I probably should have dodged that straight back, but I didn't. But anyways, the Rotten Stench deals damage. The damage is spread between however many people it hits. So obviously you want to try to get it to hit as many people as you possibly can, just to avoid the damage. But that's it. And then the last set of honeys and the last set of slugs spawn, and we just have our off-tank kite them around. So that's kind of how we do this one. Again, there's multiple ways of doing this fight. I guess I'd prefer this way. But that is it. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Hopefully you liked the video, and you'll join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.
I had vines and laser again.
I was the epicenter of the vines. So I was like,
It's Ari and Zero.